Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of I Don't Know Who Needs to Hear This, But. And today we're going to have the lovely Ashleigh here with us. I'm not going to give y'all too much about her and what she does because I want her to introduce herself. But today I wanted to bring her on so we could talk about spirituality and our faith in business, guys. Especially now during these times, there's a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about, and I feel like the conversation is so necessary because I know, not even believe, I know that entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey and you need to be strong in your faith. You need to be rooted in your faith in order to make it in any business that you're trying to do, in any industry. So this is why me and Ashleigh, I just got the notification that we met like a year ago to this month when she was hosting her first event. And I really believe that God put, like, he's always working in my life, in our lives. And I feel like just us meeting, the way that we met, the way that we came together was very much rooted in God. So I'm gonna let Ashleigh introduce herself, a little bit about what you do and where you've been, all that good stuff.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ashleigh. I am an entrepreneur here in Orlando, Florida. And I feel like I wear several hats, right?
Yeah.
So first I started out as a cosmetologist, licensed cosmetologist, which I still am. The next thing I do is I have a retail beauty supply store. And so that's my baby. She officially turns 3 next month.
Yay!
Right?
Oh my God.
Turns 3 next month. And then I also am an event hostess as well. So I like to say host, curator, whatever, because I do hosting as well as I can help with planning and curating and things like that for an event. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
I love how you went from, like, I talked before about just the different ways in the beauty industry, how we can make different incomes, right? And that is one that, like, tell me a little bit. So one thing where I like to go off topic sometimes. How you got to doing events, like, how did that come about? Where did that come from?
So events come from just when I was a little girl, I used to always have all my friends and some family over my house.
Okay.
And so my mom would just be like, girl, come on, let everybody come over, right?
Okay.
And so then from there, like, I see how God was just even working in that because I was always taught to be a leader. Like, if these are your friends, you need to make sure that, you know, they're not running out throughout the house, that they're abiding by the rules and all of the things, right? And so even in that was a form of hosting because I had to figure out what me and my friends were going to do, where we're going to go, and all that fun stuff. Or we already knew what we wanted to do and where we were going to go.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Orlando when I was just 18, we started throwing house parties, y'all.
Okay, all right.
Seriously, we started throwing house parties. Me and my roommate, which is one of my best friends, and we did that for a while, and then we kind of stopped. And then what really got me into it more was when I moved into my own place, I wanted to just kind of have like friends over, and I was always the friend that's going to get everybody together.
Yes.
So like, okay, what y'all doing on Saturday? Nothing. Cool. Everybody come to my house. We're about to, at the time when I was really out in the world, we're going to eat, we're going to drink, we're going to party, we're going to have a good time. And not like crazy party, but like I'm from a small town, so we're good with playing like spades and tongue and all those fun games.
Yeah,
so,
like a kickback.
Yeah, basically that. I was hosting the kickbacks, right? And so that's what we would do. And then it got to a point where when I turned 28, I had a really big birthday party. And it was really big. We had got this huge Airbnb. I invited a ton of people, like, we were wilding. And so when I was done, everybody was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Like, you should get into parties. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to start getting into parties. Oh my gosh. I want to say shortly after that, I ended up giving my life to Christ.
Okay.
And so I'm like, yeah, parties is out the door.
Yeah.
But I still gather my friends.
Yeah.
And we just do a lot more clean, things. If my friends choose to drink, they're bringing their own bottle. Before I was applying.
Yeah. It changes.
And so then there's a group around here in Orlando. What really got me into hosting more was there was a group around in Orlando. I'm not going to name the name. But she got into like doing like women events and stuff like that. I was invited through a DM like, hey, we're hosting this particular event. We would like for you to come or whatever. So I did like a small sponsorship or whatever. And then she was having like, oh, hey, I'm trying to grow. And I want to, have an event coordinator was one of the positions. I ended up applying for one of the event coordinator or event something. I don't even think I got it, but I ended up just going to the event still. Like, I'm a supporter, Yeah. And so then I ended up going, and then a girl that I was also affiliated with was like, hey, Ashley would like to join the organization. She speaks highly of you. I'm like, all right, cool. So I ended up building that relationship. I ended up getting on to her team, and I kind of like was thrown into the hosting for her, and I did that at the time for free, and just the skills that I already had, bringing that to that, and just supporting her and what she was doing and things of that nature. And so I did that for a while, and then that's when I was just kind of like, I think I want to do something for the beauty industry, and that's what really got me into hosting, because not even just her events, but in general networking events that were going on in Orlando, I hardly ever met other beauty professionals. It was always realtors, accountants, things of that nature. And I would be like, dang, I'm the only like beauty person in here, and not downplaying it. It was just like, how can I meet other people? How can I truly just build this network? And so, then I just feel like God was like, you can go ahead and host your first beauty mixer. And that's how me and you ended up meeting.
Yeah, so that was your first one.
That was my very, very first baby. Okay?
That one was, now piggyback off of what you're saying, now I see that like the buildup, it's crazy looking on the outside looking at it, because when I was first looking for an event, I was looking to vend. But when I saw her event, I was like, oh, this is legit. And it's for beauty professionals. So I was like, let me, reach out. And then the vending things were gone. So I reached out to be a sponsor. And when I showed up, y'all, I would have thought she had been doing this for years, which technically you have, but this is your first one on your own.
And in the public. Because it was very much friends and family and stuff like that.
That part, because it was very, very put together, very well. And me being like with my event background, I was like, oh, she knows what she's doing. Okay. And even if she didn't, it looked good on the outside, right? Like coming in, the ambiance, the vibes, the presentation was all where it needed to be. It was very professional. So but that was like, I need to stay connected with Ashleigh, because she knows what she's doing. And it's very, I don't want to say it's very rare, but it's hard to find, because I've been to different events, and I tell people that we had somebody on here when we were talking to Sloan about like the different events out here. Sometimes you go and you're like, okay, where's the money at, right? Like, I know I pay for this, high ticket, but it's like, this is what I'm paying for. So that's why it speaks to the way that she delivers her events. It is, it is what it is. So, but love that story of how it came to be. And then, so let me ask you, so you were still doing hair this whole time, right? So
Absolutely.
You still doing hair.
Cosmetology is my full-time thing as well. My retail store is also full-time, but cosmetology is what I do full-time. I've been doing it since I was 22. So, I'm now I'm 8 years in, almost going on 9. But yeah, like
it doesn't even seem like that much time passed.
Flying by.
Because I was like, people ask me how long I've been doing this. I have to think. I'm like 26. What year is 2016? I started doing the math and the numbers. So now let's jump into the questions.
Let's do it.
So when you first stepped into entrepreneurship, what did you think it would be like, and how different has that reality been for what your vision was?
So honestly, when I first stepped into entrepreneurship, I honestly didn't even know what to think. I just knew that I wanted to do something on my own. Because a little backstory is when I turned 18, I moved up here to Orlando. I knew I was going to college. I grew up in a household that was like, you're going to college. My mom did Florida prepaid. And so I had the opportunity to do 2+2, which was 2 years of like a community college, and then 2 years at a university. And so I have always been the beauty girl anyway, like planning makeup, doing the hair, all the things, even in like, from probably a little girl, but from middle school to high school, it was like, okay, Ashleigh, actually know how to put a little foundation on. Not even foundation, because my mom wouldn't let me wear foundation. It was like lip gloss, and it was just like little eyeshadow palettes and stuff. Just doing my hair and stuff like that when I got old enough, because before she was like, you're not wearing no weave.
Yeah.
And so by my junior, senior year, like I was doing little things to my friends' hair, doing my own hair too, or going to girls.
Plug. You were the beauty girly.
Well, just with my friends though, because I wasn't really an advertisement like that. And so then when I went to college, I was going for nursing. I was going to be a nurse, y'all.
That's a pivot.
Listen, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a nurse or a nurse practitioner, because my mother is in the healthcare industry. She's been a nurse for over 30 years. And so I'm like, my mom, makes good money. Again, I'm from a small town, so I didn't think beauty was a lucrative business, right? So I'm like, I can't do cosmetology because I ain't going to really make no money. Not thinking that I was going to move to Orlando. And so I started, I think, first semester with like taking like art general ed, and I was just like, I don't like this nursing track. It's not gonna work. Then it was like back then, y'all, I used to wear long nails. I used to wear weave way to my butt, and it was like, oh, in school you gotta have short nails. Sometimes you can't have no nails, or it gotta be very like basic, plain, neutral colors.
Neutral colors.
Girl, nothing about me is neutral.
See, that's the thing. It's like, I can't do this. I can't.
Absolutely not. So I was like, but do I have a love for people? Absolutely. Do I love learning about the body itself? Cool. I think it's cool. Yeah. But I just was like, this can't be my passion. So I ended up thinking like, okay, I want to open up this. I had this huge, before one-stop shops were one-stop shops now, a beauty bar. I was like, I'm going to do this one-stop shop. I'm going to have this, and this. And even still to this day, things that I have envisioned, I have not seen no one do. I have seen the all-in-one, but there's other parts that I'm like, I want to add this and this, if that's what God has for me. Because right now, 10 years later, almost, y'all, my mind is something different. And so when I got into that, I was like, all right, I'm going to do beauty and all of that. Because I'll say this too, even when I knew I wanted to be a nurse, I was like, okay, I'll be a nurse or a nurse practitioner. I'm going to work for a while and then I'm going to get my own place.
So you already knew,
I was always going to do like my own thing. I just didn't know exactly what it was that I was going to do. So once I was finished with school and went to cosmetology school, I was like, all right, cool. I worked in the salon locally around here in a very, I wouldn't even call it multicultural. It was predominantly Caucasian and like Latina. And so I worked in there for a few months, just getting that salon experience, because I did go to Paul Mitchell, and it's a predominantly like Caucasian school. So, I was like, all right, let me get some more experience in that. So I did that. And then I remember I was working from home for a while. And I remember hitting up one of my very good homegirls, and I was like, yo, iStudio, because that's what it was at the time. I was like, iStudio on East Colonial, they have a room for rent, and I think it's a decent size. At the time, it was like 4 something or 3 something a week. But the first 8 weeks were half off. So I was like, I think that was just God in me saying, you can do this. That push. Because the first 8 weeks was half off. So even if it was a small suite by myself, it would have been $250 a week. But the first 8 weeks would have been $125. So I'm like, I could do this.
Those are almost unheard of nowadays.
You know what I'm saying? Like 8 weeks, 2 months is half off. And we had like we had a double suite. So if you ever been in salon suites that have a double, it's 2 sinks, it's 2 this. So it was a decent size. But we were paying about 4 something a week. But I was like, girl, we can do this our first 8 weeks.
That's the thing. Making it work that first 8 weeks.
So I was like, if we could do these first 8 weeks, I had my mind focused. It was no TikTok at the time. It was only really like Facebook and Instagram. And so Instagram was like the TikTok, how TikTok is now. Instagram was that. So I was posting on Instagram. I was using hashtags. I was doing all the things to fully embrace entrepreneurship. And that's just how I went about it. I didn't really know any other way. I was big on watching YouTube. I can name drop a couple people that I used to watch all the time, but I was watching their strategy. I was passing out business cards. Me and a couple of my friends, we would go to malls. We would go just to like apartment communities. We were just leaving, cards and stuff out. And that just kind of continued to birth that entrepreneur in me. I don't have any children, so for me, I was always pretty flexible. I was done with school. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have any commitment. So I was in the salon 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, early morning and late night, 5, 6. I've really been working 6 days for years, but 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And so that really just pushed me to like be where I am today.
So I want to go back to what you said of when you went from home to the suites. Yeah. Now, there's a few points I want to bring up. Mm-hmm. You did it with somebody.
I did.
So you didn't do it alone. Mm-hmm. And then you went in looking at other people in their strategy. Mm-hmm. So how much of that would you say contributed to the success? So like you went from the suites to where you are now, right? The salon. I mean, not the. So
salon. I've had a little journey. So I went from those salon suites for a few years, and we left there. And then I went in my own place in downtown Orlando. I had a 2-room suite. At that time, it was in a professional office building, but I had like this guy came in and built me a wash bowl and all that stuff. So I did have everything I needed. I was there from 2019, I think, to 2021 or something like that, or 2018 or something. And so I was there for a while. I left there, and then I went into an actual salon. And I was on the salon floor for maybe like 6 months.
So let me ask, from building your books, making that work, how much would you say that contributed to you being able to like make that turn? Because I know let me say it from this perspective, a lot of beauty professionals will be like, well, I'm afraid to get in the salon suite. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I don't know if I'm gonna have the clientele. Right. And a lot of them are getting into it, and then they're like a few months in, 6 months, they have to like leave. So what tips and tricks would you give them, or what would you say that worked for you the most to focus on?
So, okay. I know I want to back up real quick where you said that doing it with someone. So granted, doing it with someone was going to be an option, but I was so focused, y'all, to the point where even if my friend didn't do it, there was 2 suites available. So it was the double that was available, and then it was a single that was available. It was going to run me the same amount of money anyway. Okay. It was just that me and her were like this at the time. And I'm like, girl, we're both out here trying to grind. Like, let's get into the suite together. And so I remember the suite being back by the bathrooms, and I was like, this is a single. If my friend don't do it, then I'm taking this opportunity. So I'll say this. One, your mindset. I know a lot of times people will be like, oh, mindset stuff is not as important. But I'm telling you, I was not even saved at the time. Yes, I knew Christ. Yes, I was praying. I was reading my Bible and stuff, but I was still in very much sin. You know what I'm saying? But I knew enough to be like, okay, I have to focus and I have to hone in, because the reality is I got to pay bills. You know, I got to survive. I have to do all the things, and school is done. You know what I mean? This is real life. So and then also another thing was I was not focused on what other people was doing around me. Was I motivated and encouraged by it? Yes. Okay. But was I being like, oh, this person is more booked than me, or this person has a suite and why I'm not? I was not focused on that. I was focused on, I want to get a suite. I want to get out of my house. Because the good thing was this, when I was in my house working, I was getting a lot of consistency. And so I could not, at this point now, I'm done with hair school. People want color, washing their hair. I can't be leaning you over the sink in the kitchen. You can't.
There's only so much you could do at the house.
Exactly. So I began to like, okay, cool. Like, we're getting busy now. It's time to get out of my apartment. And so I honestly say, I was like, God, this is the perfect opportunity, because the first 8 weeks is half off, which was only $125 a week. If you can't make $125 in a week, you don't need to be doing entrepreneurship. So I felt like if you cannot build up a clientele, and this was me, it was not to knock or shade anybody. It was my mindset that, Ashleigh, if you can't build up a clientele in 8 weeks consistent enough to pay your rent and pay your booth, you don't need to do this anyway. So
clock it. I like that. But that's a mindset you like going in. That's why I asked, because I was like, wait a minute, you said a few things that I hear that are like ringing off in my head that a lot of people don't think about or consider. And a lot of people see where you are now. They're like, oh, she has this store, she has this. But it's like, that journey, it's not, it doesn't just go like that overnight. And then it takes the mindset. I love that you said that about the mindset. So let's go into the spiritual part. So you told us that you got saved, like going into, you know, just from the events part to the beauty part, it was kind of like in the middle of the journey. So were there times, well, I would ask this question first. How has your faith guided your decisions in business?
So although I did not have what I would call now personal relationship with Christ at the time, it was a side piece relationship with Christ back then. I would still consult God in what I would do. I would pray about it. I would be like, okay, God, like this is what I want to do, you know. So I feel like because I grew up in a very, I don't even want to call it religious household, because my mom was not a woman of religion. My mom truly is a woman of God. So I grew up in a Christian household. I knew about praying. I knew about reading my word. I knew about listening to the word. I knew about, you know, things like that. And so I would always just be like, and plus I had my mom in my ear. So she's like, make sure you're including God. Make sure you pray about it. Even though I was a sinner, I was still praying.
That's like me.
You know what I'm saying?
I always knew God, but it was like living in it. I always knew He was there.
Yeah,
that's the prayer of Mama's prayer.
Listen,
okay?
Really, and honestly, sometimes people ask me that, like, how did you get started so fast? I'm like, to be honest, y'all, I truly think the prayers of my mother and people that I knew that truly know God, that was praying for the success of my business, that was praying that people would come, truly brought those people, because Ashleigh was living in sin. Okay. And to be as booked as I was, as fast as I was, I really feel like that was a part of that journey. And so I think just incorporating God in everything, praying about everything before I make a decision. I'm now learning that even when things come, because I'm going to be real, y'all, in business, you're going to go through things all the time. So even challenges that I experience now, I'm learning more of, instead of picking up the phone and calling somebody, I just sit still and be like, okay, Holy Spirit, this is what's going on. I want to get your guidance first. So before I do this, I'll sit still and see if I hear Him say something. If I don't, then I just kind of go with something that I'm already feeling. Or at that point, I may call someone who is wise counsel. So the Bible talks about there is safety in wise counsel. And so I will call who I call wise counsel and say, hey, this is what's going on. Can you tell me what you think? And so just incorporating God in every step of the way, not doing something and then going back into talk to God. So
that's a big one. I love the wise counsel part, because listen, I was just listening to, I don't know whose interview, but she was saying how a lot of mistakes that we make in entrepreneurship is, first off, we don't follow biblical principles. Like, we don't go into it with, okay, what does the Bible say about business? First off, business is biblical. Like, a lot of people try to say, well, it's separate, it's money. No. It is a biblical principle. So going into it, you have to have that foundation. She had said about the wise counsel. She said, before you do anything, before you spend any money, you need a mentor. She said it as a mentor, but if you think about it, it's no different than wise counsel. Like, you need somebody that either not even just in business has done it before, if that is the route you want to go, but somebody that is really rooted in the word. Because some people out here, like, they be saying stuff, it sounds good, but you need to really find people that are rooted in God and in the word. That can give you the armor of God and give you those weapons to suit yourself up to get ready for this journey, because Lord knows you're going to need that protection, that shield, and that guidance in Him. So I love that you said wise counsel, because a lot of people miss that part. They think looking at enough videos and this is enough, but it's not. You need a like your A team. What I like to call. So in what ways do you feel entrepreneurship has refined you? Well, actually, no, I'm not going to ask that one, because that one's not the one I want to go back to. Were there times that you questioned if you were on the right path? So let's talk about how that looks, right? When we start to question things, because listen, we are women of God, but there's sometimes, I know I can speak for myself, where I'm like, God, are we sure this is, like, are you? And it's like, I don't want to say it's questioning God, but it is low key, because we're human too, right? We have that flesh, the carnalness of us is questioning Him. So let's talk a little bit about that, what that looks like for you, and how you were able to walk through that, overcome that. And
so my biggest challenges, and this is full transparency, my biggest challenges did not come until I opened that retail store. When I was doing hair, I was cruising. I was making great money. I was just life was good. You know what I'm saying? Even in COVID, I know it was a rough time for a lot of people, but even then, I was still coasting. Like, life was still good. You know what I'm saying? And I actually used that as a time to rest, because I was doing so much work. But until I opened that retail store, that has been the biggest challenge yet. Like, so that in those moments of, I want to say my first year in that is when I probably questioned my entire like choice to open the retail store, because it was so much that I knew a lot of the back end, how to like, okay, I know the paperwork to get, I know what to do, I know all of this, but the journey of it, like, I did not know anything about like what specific, like as a hairstylist, I knew specific products that I know would sell that I use. But you're talking about filling up a store full of items that people need, right? And you don't really know. We live in a generation too where people are specific about a product, they're specific about a type of hair, and that is a whole nother ball game, right? And so my first year, I was like, we had a good first day because, of course, everybody's coming to support. Girl, that reality of life hit. And that Monday when we opened back up, it was very slow. Like, I'm not in the most busiest plaza at the moment. And so what I thought I was doing was not enough. You know what I'm saying? So I would have days where I would wake up and be like, God, is it even worth me going to this store today? Like, I should have did something different. I have dumped thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into this.
So let me ask you, because what made you want to open the store?
Well, like any girl's dream, you know, love the beauty supply store, right? I can also say too, though, I grew up in that beauty supply area. So like my mom, my mom and my dad, and my mom, one of her best friends and her husband, the four of them opened a beauty supply store. Okay. And so I kind of grew up going to the vendors, going to shows, you know, doing all of the things. So I think that was a seed, that was the positive in me. You know,
that's why I was like, where did that want to come from? So that makes a little bit more sense on the back end. So then you said when you started that next week, it was, so now we're questioning things. Now's the other question. Were you saved already at this point?
At that point, first opening, no. So salvation didn't really happen until I opened October. I probably got my journey to get my life to Christ around January of the following year. So 2023.
But you still were you were still doing the things.
Yeah, the business was still going. I was still pushing through. Again, I come from a praying and fasting household. And then I got to give props to my girl. She knew my girl because I don't know her personally, but I got to give props to Prophetess Tiffany Montgomery, because at that time, even though I had my mom, my aunt, and different prayer warriors in my ear, I began to listen to some of her teachings and things of that nature, and I learned more about fasting and stuff. So that changed and shifted a lot for me. So in that journey, though, it was challenging, I will say. But here we are 3 years later, and God has provided. He has showed me, and I got to give props to my mom and my dad, because even in those times where I have never been a girl that suffered from, and I'm not saying this in a boastful way, but I've never really like dealt with depression and sadness and anxiety and stuff until I was probably 6 months into that business, and I was like, I just thought about the amount of money I spent, the money that we received to even do this project. It was just like, okay, all the money is gone. And it goes so quick. Very. And my mom and dad really taught me through, like, really feeding me the scriptures, really feeding me the word, and really being like, listen, you cannot be beating yourself up every day. You cannot be sad. Get up. And so I would get up in the morning too. I would go before the Lord and pray. I would cry out to God, and I would just be like, Lord, I need guidance. You got to help me, because I don't know what else I'm going to do, you know? And God just, being who he is, Jehovah Jireh, he just began to provide more. I began to use strategies too, to go out to get business into the place. So it's not like I was just sitting in there like, okay, y'all come open up.
Without works is,
you know what I'm saying? I just started with these strategies, and I began to flow.
I love that. I love that. That is a strong story, because no, it's hard, like, you know, especially for beginners or, you know, people just getting into it. We have these big dreams. We have these big ones. Like mine, when I started my shop, I was like, I went from school to shop.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at a spa just to get the experience. I worked there for like a year, but I was also building out.
Absolutely.
Like I had to build out my whole unit. But like you said about that money, so much money comes and goes. Like it be in and out, but it's a large amounts of money. So you're just like, what am I doing? Yeah. Like what is happening? You have the shop and then nobody's there. Like you be like, okay, where are the people at? No, you got to keep going. Right? Like you did all that work, you got to keep going. But that's where the faith part comes in, where you have to really trust. And it's hard because we start to question things like why, but it also it's working on us. Like you said, you have your girl, my Uncle Myron Golden, that's like my dude, where he really, like a lot of his teachings and words, like it made me realize when I look back in hindsight, it wasn't, if it's not working for you, it's working on you. So it was making me become the person I needed to be to do the things that I needed to do. So all these experiences, they're necessary, whether it's, working financially or not, you're still learning in the process.
Absolutely.
So if you could go back and give younger you one piece of advice at the start of this journey, what would it be?
I would tell my younger self to be a little bit more still in the decision making. Like weigh out all of your options. Certain love relationships do not enter because men can be a distraction sometimes if they're not the right person that's trying to help lead and guide you as well. So I would tell myself to sit still and think about the decisions before you make them. Don't be so caught up in your own pride in the sense of certain things when it comes to guys and stuff. So I would tell myself just pick better men. Okay.
I feel like we all say that, like, because the Lord, I mean, I'm married, but there's been times where it's just like, what was I had no business, but we was also I was living a whole different life, a whole different world. So it's like, okay, girl, would it be like that? So how would you say, this is a good one. How do you balance being a friend, a business owner, and a leader in your community? Because I don't know if y'all following her, y'all gonna be following her by the end of this. Ashleigh be outside. Like she be showing up, but it's not outside in a bad way though. It's outside. She's always pouring, like she's showing up for other people in so many different ways and different events, capacities. So how do you balance that? Like even if, you as being you, because you said you don't have kids, but still it's a lot.
Yes. So to be honest, I'm still working on it. I'm still working on creating balance. Like I now have given myself, and I'm so proud of myself. I have now given myself a day off throughout the week, but it's just a day off from doing hair. Okay. Because I'm still working, but I don't be in my storefront. If I am, it's because we're starting a new series and stuff in there. But other than that, like what I do too is this. In order to create balance, I do plan in advance. Okay. Right? So it's hard for someone to call me and say, hey, what you doing tonight? You want to come to this? 9 times out of 10, it's already something on my calendar. So I live by my calendar. I tell people, if you want me there, can you tell me at least 30 days in advance? Even tonight, like I have 2 events that I'm going to tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so they're literally at the same time. So I'm going to spend an hour and a half at one and an hour and a half at another one. And I try to do that to show up for people as much as I can because I believe in a 2-way street. And so if I'm gonna be hosting things and God is putting things on my heart and I want people to be there to support me, I also believe that I need to be there to support them. It's the same way, like, like these birthday things, like, okay, it's your birthday. And I'm always saying, I'll say this, it's my birthday. And I'm always inviting you to my birthday. But when your stuff comes, I'm never there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that is just how I see the business side of it. Like, I like to say, okay, and if I can't make it, I am big on promoting. So I will say, okay, this is what's going on. Guys, go support this. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many ways that you can help support because in a sense, that sharing is a form of word of mouth. Right? It is. And word of mouth, we know is very powerful. Before there was social media, before there was all those things back in the day, they had a phone book. But other than that, it was, Oh, who did your hair?
Yep.
Oh, I went to this salon. Okay, bet. Now you walking in there or you calling there, hey, I'm trying to make an appointment with da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I still kind of see that as a way of, like social media is that modern thing of let me just share it, because as long as it aligns with my faith and as long as it's not nothing too crazy, then of course I'll share it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and it is a form of currency too, because you got to think about it. It's like a transfer, right? I believe in like currency, even money. It's an exchange of energy. So it's like not only are you doing that, you're putting that out there. Other people see that. Other people see the type of person and character you are, because not everybody does that. Sometimes I see people, I'm like, that they only talk about themselves. Like you be like, okay, do you know other people? Like, what else do you do? So that is that. It's also smart because you don't want to burn bridges with people too, because people notice that type of stuff. Okay. She said, okay. So what's next for your business and your spiritual walk? You could pick one or talk about both.
Yeah. So first question was, what's next
for your business?
Okay. So first thing, what's next in my business is I'm having an event. I'm not sure when this is going to be released, but I am having an event in December the 7th here in Orlando, Florida. It's going to be called the Entrepreneur Social. It's an all-white affair. So you are all more than welcome to come. Tickets will be live on my platform, which is called Beauty Blazers University. Also, I have Instagram, which is my name, Ashleigh Offer. My name is spelled a little different. It's ASHLEIGH. And so I'll be releasing tickets to that on October the 1st to the general public, where you all can pick a ticket for that. So more things I'll be doing is events. Events is my next literally biggest passion. I feel like between that and teaching. So I plan on getting into teaching. I plan on opening a school in the next few years. So we're working on that behind the scenes. We're doing a lot of things. We're looking to expand the beauty supply store to another location, still within that East Colonial area, but a little bit more, a lot bigger. And then also out in another area that I can't say yet, but we are looking to do that. So expansion of my stores, getting into having an actual school, and then just doing events. I also plan to kind of veer into a little bit of real estate on the side of commercial. I get a lot of people, because I have a retail storefront, that ask for assistance with saying like, hey, how did you do this? How did you get that? And I truly would love to just build, I envision a plaza full of all minority businesses and thriving, looking great, bringing business in. Something I notice about a lot of people of color, I won't say in all areas, because I know more like places out of state have businesses, but I'll say within my own area, I have not really seen a lot of minorities own their actual storefronts. And though I'm a renter right now, I'm working with a commercial broker to own, a spot. And so I want to help us to be able to do that, because a lot of us have these visions, these ideas, these businesses, but we don't really know the process to get into it. Or if we do know the process, we don't have the capital. So I'm helping with getting capital. I'm helping with getting you in the right place. So I'm all about resources. However I can connect people to something that can help them grow, that's exactly what I want.
And you forgot the community. I was like waiting for. I was like, now,
because I got so much.
I know, and I was like, I gotta remind her to plug that. Now we gotta.
Oh yes! Oh my God! So I have a Beauty Blazers University. We have a online community where we do literally some of everything in there. We had 2 calls the other day, where we had one where we had a financial planner who came on and just talked about protecting ourselves as entrepreneurs. And then next, our thing is going to be talking about wealth strategies and building. Then we had a mindset call. I am a woman of faith, so I brought a minister on that is also an entrepreneur. So she does marketplace and she does ministry. And so we just kind of combined the 2. And so there's so much more that we'll be doing in there. Personal branding, we'll be doing more business credit, personal credit, home ownership, everything, y'all. Anything you can think of. So you can go to beautyblazesuniversity.com and you can actually submit an inquiry to join the academy. It may say enrollment is closed, but because it's our first semester, I am just kind of building and letting people come in. But as we grow and build, it will be something that's locked at a certain time. And then what else? Oh, and then I have an Instagram for it as well. It's just Beauty Blazes University, so you can find it on there. You can also find me on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I think that's really it. Oh, Threads. I'm on
Threads. That's a good one. So, yeah, she just got on TikTok, y'all.
It's growing.
I was glad it's growing. It popped off. Not it's growing. It popped off. She went viral in the first about week.
I did a few times. So I that's on there. I'm like, okay, God, I see you working because your girl ain't.
No, hold on. Real quick, talk about that story because we talk about the spiritual journey and the faith, and we gotta talk about that real quick. It's like, so tell me, literally when we had already met, but she was saying how. Do you tell the story
about TikTok?
Like, yes. How God was already been told you to get on there, and then what happened when you finally listened?
So I ended up getting on TikTok because I have a friend. She moved into my salon suite, so she does wigs and things like that. And so she was in there asking the girls how did they find her, and she was like, a lot of them was like, "Oh, I found you on TikTok." And so I just remember God telling me, "I've been telling you to get on TikTok," and I have clients who keep telling me, "Ashleigh, I think if you get on TikTok, it's gonna go crazy." So I was like, all right, cool. So one day I'm sitting at the salon, I'm at my retail store behind the register, just engaging on social media. And God was like, post on TikTok. And I was like, okay, let me find out how to do TikTok. So I'm on there trying to figure out how to get audio, how to do the editing and all that. Yeah, I post a video. I think I had maybe 40, maybe 50 people following me, and I wasn't even doing anything. The video went in like an hour. It got probably 1,000 views, and then it just continued to climb. That was my first video. And then the second video I posted some like goddess braids. And that video now is sitting at maybe 50,000 views still, 2,000 something likes, almost 1,000 saves and shares. I was like, God, what is happening right now?
Mind you, I'm trying to monetize my TikTok. I'm sitting at like 300 views, one comment from my father-in-law. No. I'm gonna post a little screenshot here. I be fighting for my life on TikTok. So I said, so I wanted you to say, because to me, on the outside, sometimes we don't, we be just moving and shaking. The obedience, guys. Obedience. Like when God plants that seed, that thought, that God thought that comes to you, that hits you so hard, you be like, I don't know where that came from. But don't ignore that. Don't ignore it, because when you ignore it, it's disobedient. But as soon as she did it and listen, she's like, oh, I forgot. Okay, did it. Boom, popped off. And what happened with your phone? Because she had posted her phone number.
Oh my God, y'all. I posted my phone number. If I had that phone, it's a little janky. I had a phone forever. But I posted my number on there because it wasn't allowing me to post a link yet, because I didn't have enough followers. So I was posting my phone number, and my location. I'm like, I'm in Orlando. This is where I'm at. Oh my God. Phone blowing up. To this day. Phone still blowing up. Hey, I found your page on TikTok. But I think it was coming so rapid. And I told my friend, I was like, listen, you came in here and you were on TikTok. I found the girls were finding her from TikTok. And I was like, that was literally the other boost of Ashleigh, be obedient. And when I was sitting behind the counter and I heard the Lord say post on TikTok, I was like, okay, my friend in here, they found her on TikTok. My client's been telling me post on TikTok. So finally I'm like, do it. And I'm like, I should have did this so long ago. But I was so just stuck in that mindset of, it's another platform. I gotta do this again. Yeah. And then, but honestly, y'all, Instagram is beautiful, but TikTok is where it's like the new phone book. It's like the new Google almost. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for something, I find myself doing that now. If I find a restaurant, I'm like, let me go to TikTok and see what it's because,
to look at reviews.
And we like the Google reviews, cool, but TikTok, people making full videos, you're reading the comments, you're doing all the things. So get on TikTok if you're not on TikTok.
Especially as a beauty professional.
Get on there. And if you want people to, I have multiple phones, guys. Okay. So for me, I didn't mind posting my actual hair phone number that I use for those services. So they can call me and text me all day. I don't care because the phone's on Do Not Disturb. So when I get to it, I'm going to see it. You know what I'm saying? But if you can post your number on there, post your phone number, because people tend to, and I know it can be a little bit annoying because like I have a booking page, just send them the booking page. I just respond, hey, thank you so much for inquiring with me. Here's my booking link. Everything you need is in here. If it's something that you don't see on there, feel free to reach back out to me. But this is the fastest way to get an appointment secured, because 9 times out of 10, I haven't even checked it this morning.
Yeah.
I'm doing so many things. So
and I'm big on, we need to move. You should have a system in place, right?
Absolutely.
So if she has the booking link, you should have a link somewhere to at least DM them if you can't post in your bio. Yeah. So now we're gonna close out, because I was like, hold on, we gotta talk about that story real quick. Yeah. So Ashleigh, thank you so much for your time coming here and us just chatting and talking. Thank you guys for watching this whole thing. If you saw it all the way through, make sure you go look for all the links on how to connect with Ashleigh down below for her university. Leslie, I'm putting it all down there in the description box, and stay tuned for the next episode of I Don't Know Who Needs to Hear This, but